My name is Ronald Reagan, and I'm going to draw my life. I was born on February 6, 1911, in Tampico, Illinois. My mother, Nellie, cared for my brother and me through long, cold winters, while my dad, Jack, struggled to provide for us during the Great Depression. As a student, I took to the field and the stage, playing guard for the Eureka Red Devils and acting in plays. After graduating, I fulfilled my childhood dreams by becoming... No, not president. First, a radio sports announcer, and then an actor in Hollywood. I played in 53 pictures. Not a bad run for a boy from Tampico. During World War II, I served as a captain in the Army Air Forces, my first taste of service, but also of wasteful federal bureaucracy. After the war, I used my platform as president of the Screen Actors Guild to speak out against communism, calling out communist sympathizers trying to control the film industry through manipulation and intimidation. About this time, I met Nancy. It was like coming out of the cold into a warm, firelit room. We bought a ranch overlooking the Pacific Ocean. I spent a lot of time on the back of a horse, which is where I do my best thinking. But while I found new happiness at home, I sensed new threats to our homeland. Our government was flirting with socialism, using high taxes to fund bigger and bigger bureaucracies. So I ran for governor of California and won. I cut taxes, spurring economic growth that lifted people out of welfare dependency. I shrank state bureaucracy and returned billions to the taxpayers. But by 1980, the country had lost its way, with double-digit inflation and unemployment rates at home, and the Soviet Union on the march around the globe. America was down, but not out. We only needed to return to our founding principles of individualism, capitalism, and liberty, and we would unleash the enormous productive energies of the American people to light that shining city on the hill. So I ran for President of the United States and defeated Jimmy Carter. I worked with Congress to cut taxes, creating the largest economic boom in our nation's history. If you let people keep more of their own money, they'll invest it more wisely than any federal bureaucrat. Some call it supply-side economics. I call it common sense. I believed in peace through strength, deterring the Soviet threat through investment in America's military might, while calling out the communists for what they were, an evil empire that oppressed its own people and crushed other neighbors under its totalitarian boot. In a speech in 1987 at the Berlin Wall, I told Mr. Gorbachev to tear down this wall. 2 years later, it fell. I left America and the world a better place than I found it. My critics say I drove up the debt with military spending, courted religious conservatives, and doubled down on a failed drug war. One of those critics was someone whose novels and ideas I truly admire, Ayn Rand. Unlike today's politicians, I didn't try to silence my critics because every American has the right to voice their concerns about their government. I always did my best to listen and learn from history. Speaking of history, America today looks a lot like 1980. Out-of-control spending by unaccountable bureaucrats, high inflation and interest rates, and collectivist ideas on the march around the globe. We need leaders willing to do what we did in the 80s, to unleash American prosperity by giving the people back their money and giving bloated bureaucracies the pink slip. We need leaders uncorrupted by foreign influence and uncompromising in their commitment to capitalism, individualism, and liberty. And we need each of you to reclaim America's promise, to recommit to our founding principles, and to rediscover our American destiny.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like below.